Hello everyone, I am K. Vishwar, Assistant Professor, St. Peter's Engineering College. In the previous session, we have completed Unit 2, that is Indefinite Integrations Part 2. Also we have completed first unit, that is Indefinite Integration Part 1. In Unit 1 and Unit 2, we have discussed only one topic, that is indefinite integration. Right? To solve indefinite integrations, we have discussed several methods. Right? Now, in this session, let us start Unit 3, that is definite integrals and its properties. Alright? So, what is meant by definite integration? And what is meant by indefinite integration? What is the difference between indefinite integration and definite integration? Let us discuss in this session. Okay? If let us take here a function f dash of x and integrate this function, integral of f dash of x into dx is what? We all know that f of x plus c. So integration of f dash of x into dx is what? F of x plus c. So these type of integrals we have already discussed in previous sessions, that in Unit 1 and in Unit 2. So these type of integrals are called what? These type of integrals are called indefinite integrals, right? These type of integrals are called indefinite integrals, correct? If integral a to b f dash of x into dx, here a to b are limits. Okay, a to b are what? The limits of the function f dash of x. First, we have to integrate this function. Forget about limits. Let us integrate this function. So integral f dash of x into dx is what? F of x. But for this function, limits are given. That is a to b. So here a to b are what? Limits. So you get f of x integral a to b plus c. For this function, we have to apply the limits, right? So this a is called lower limit and this b is called upper limit, right? A is lower limit and b is upper limit. For this function f of x, we have to apply these two limits. Like first we have to apply upper limit. What is upper limit here? B. In place of the variable. So what is the variable here? X. X is the variable, right? So first apply upper limit here. That means f of x becomes f of b minus lower limit. So what is lower limit? A. So f of a plus c. First we have to apply upper limit minus lower limit. Okay, upper limit minus lower limit. Remember this. In place of variable, we have to substitute these two intervals. Okay, this is called lower interval and this is upper interval. Okay, so first that is lower limit or upper limit. We can call it as lower limit and upper limit. First we have to apply upper limit minus lower limit plus constant of integration. C is called what? Constant of integration in these two cases. Right? So these type of integration is called definite integration. So this type of integration is called a definite integration. So what is the difference between indefinite integration and definite integration? If you observe in indefinite integration, here we are doing integration with respect to x. After integration, we got f of x plus c. This f of x means in place of f of x, we can take any value. Here f of x is like what? Variable. That means we don't know exact value of that function, right? So that is indefinite integral. But when it comes to definite integration, after integration, we are substituting the limits. Upper limit and lower limit we are substituting. After applying limits, we are getting particular value. This f of b minus f of a. If we subtract both two values, you will get some particular values. Okay. If we apply limits for this, we will get particular values in definite integration. Right? So that is the difference between indefinite integration and definite integrations. In definite integrations, after applying limits, you will get particular exact values. But in indefinite integration, we don't know limits, so we cannot know particular values. That is and y is below limit. Right? So that's the difference between indefinite integration and a definite integration. Okay. So we have one theorem here, that is fundamental theorem of calculus. Fundamental theorem of calculus. Fundamental theorem of calculus. So what is this statement? See, first let us take statement here. Let f dash of x, let f dash of x be a continuous function. Okay, so let us consider this f dash of x is continuous function defined in the interval a to b. Defined in the interval a to b, then f of x be the, then this f of x be antiderivative of f dash of x. Here f of x be antiderivative of f dash of x, then here integral f dash of x into dx in the interval a to b. You mentioned that in the interval a to b. So in the interval a to b is equal to, first we have to do integration. So integration of f dash of x into f of x and the limits are a to b. Then apply the limits. So what are the limits here? B upper limit, a is lower limit. So let us apply upper limit first. F of b minus lower limit f of. So integral a to b f dash of x into dx equals to f of b minus f of a. This is fundamental theorem of calculus. Important for short question. You will ask for short question. So what is the statement? First we have to just we have to write the statement. Here f dash of x is a continuous function. If f dash of x is a continuous function defined in the interval a to b, and f of x is antiderivative of the given function f dash of x, then integral a to b f dash of x into dx equals to f of x, and then apply the limits, upper limit minus lower limit. So this is fundamental theorem of calculus. Okay, important for short question. Now let us start the problems. Evaluate integral 1 to 2 3x square plus 2x plus 1 into dx. Evaluate integral 1 to 2 3x square plus 2x plus 1 into dx. Okay. So unit 3 problems, remember all unit 3 problems are comes from unit 1 problems. Already we did unit 1. Okay. Just the difference is here we have to apply the limits. That's the difference between unit 1 and unit 3. Unit 1 is indefinite integrations, right? And unit 3 is definite integrations. Same problems you will get, but here you have to apply the integration. That's the extra thing we have to do. Okay, if you study unit 1 well, then you can solve unit 3 easily. No need to study unit 3 also. Okay, the thing is just we have to apply the integrations in definite integrations. Okay, so first let us see this. How to solve? Here we have three terms. Okay, so let us make it separate. First integral 1 to 2 3x square into dx plus integral 1 to 2 2x into dx plus integral 1 to 2 1 into dx. Here 3 is a constant right outside. Integral 1 into 2 x square into dx plus integral 1 to 2, here 2 is a constant, right also x into dx plus integral 1 into 2 1 into dx. Here 3 into integration of x square. Which formula? Integration of x to the power of n formula. That is x to the power of 2 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 plus 2 into again x to the power of n formula. So x to the power of n plus 1 by n plus 1 plus integration of 1 to dx is x plus constant multiplication. See, no need to write this constant multiplication because you will get exact values here. Here 3 into the limits. Don't forget to write the limits here. 1 to 2, 1 to 2. Here limits are 1 to 2. Okay. Now x cube by 3 limits are here 1 to 2 plus 2 into x square by 2 limits are 1 to 2 and x limits are 1 to 2. Now apply the limits here. Write this 3 outside or direct cancel this 3 here and 2 here. First apply upper limit. So what is upper limit here? 2 in place of x. So you will get 2 cube here. 2 cube minus lower limit. What is lower limit? 1. That means 1 cube here. Next, in the second term, upper limit is 2. So 2 square minus lower limit is 1 square. And in the third term, upper limit 2 minus lower limit 1. Right? Here 2 cube is 8. 8 minus 1, 7. Here 4 minus 1, 3. And there 1. 11. So integral of this value is what? 11, which is a exact value, particular value you are getting. So that's the difference between indefinite integration and definite integration. In the definite integrations, after substituting the limits, we are getting the constants, exact values, particular values, right? So that's the difference between indefinite integration and definite integrations. Let us see one more problem here. Evaluate integral 0 to pi by 2 cos x into dx. Evaluate integral 0 to pi by 2 cos x into dx. Here forget about the limits. We have integral cos x into dx. So first let us integrate this function. So what is integration of cos x? Integral of cos x over sin x. So what are the limits? 0 to pi by 2 are the limits. Right? Now apply the limits. Upper limit is what? Pi by 2. So let us apply here. So we get sin pi by 2 minus lower limit. What is lower limit? 0. So we get sin into 0. So sin 90 is 1 and sin 0 is 0. That equals to 1. So this is the integral value of given function. That is exactly right. Simple problem is result. Let us see one more problem. Integral 0 to a square x minus x cube into dx. Observe this problem. Again we have two terms. So first let us make it separate. Apply this integral for the first term, that is a square x into dx minus again apply integral for the second term also. So integral 0 to a x cube into dx. Now here a square is a constant. So write this outside. So integral 0 to a x into dx minus integral 0 to a x cube into dx. So write a square. Then integration of x into dx, x to the power of n formula. So x to the power of n plus 1 by n plus 1 minus limits are here 0 to a are the limits. Then integration of x cube, x to the power of n formula. X to the power of 3 plus 1 by 3 plus 1. Limits are 0 to a. Okay. Then a square. Then 1 plus 1 is 2. So write this 2 outside. Then x square limits are 0 to a. Write 1 by 4 outside. X to the power of 4 limits are 0 to a. Now let us apply the limits here. Here a square by 2 into upper limit is what a. So let us apply a in place of x. That means here a square minus lower limit. What is lower limit? 0. That is 0 square. And second term minus 1 by 4 right outside. Then upper limit a to the power of 4 minus lower limit 0 to the power of 4. Here a square minus 0 is a square. So a square will be a square. A to the power of 4 by 2 minus a to the power of 4 by 2. Take LCM. So 4 is LCM. Let 2 into a to the power of 4 minus a to the power of 4. That equals to a to the power of 4 by 4. Here a is a constant, which is an exact value. That is the interval of given function. Okay. Simple problems which we have already solved in unit 1. Okay. Just the difference is we are applying limits after integration. That's the difference. Right? So let us see one more problem here. Evaluate integral 0 to 1 dx by square root of x plus 1 plus square root of x. Here. Now observe the given equation. 1 by root x plus 1 plus root x. Right? So how can we solve? First forget about the limits. Okay, forget about the limits. Here we have integral 0 to 1 by square root of x plus 1 plus root x into dx is the question. Right? Here root x plus 1 plus root x is there. So directly we cannot apply integration for this, right? And we cannot make it separate also. So in this case, what we have to do? Just rationalize it. So rationalize it. So what do you get? Here 1 by root x plus 1 plus root x into, we have to multiply and divide with root x plus 1 minus root x by root x plus 1 minus root x into dx. We have to multiply and divide with conjugate of this value. So integral 0 to 1 into the term is root x plus 1 minus root x whole by here root x plus 1 root x into root x plus 1 minus root x, which is in the form of a plus b into a minus b. So what is the formula? A square minus b square. That means root x plus 1 is whole square minus root x whole square into dx. A plus b into a minus b, x square minus b square. Then integral 0 to 1, first term is root x plus 1 minus root x. In the denominator here, square root get cancelled. So you will get x plus 1 minus x into dx. Here plus x or minus x get cancelled. Then you will get integral 0 to 1 root x plus 1 minus root x into dx. Now apply separate this integration. Okay. So integral 0 to 1 root x plus 1 into dx minus integral 0 to 1 root x into dx. Okay. Then here we don't have direct formula for root x plus 1. So write this root x plus 1 as x plus 1 to the power of 1 by 2 into dx minus integral 0 to 1. Write this square bracket as x to the power of 1 by 2 into dx. Because if you write this root x plus 1 as x plus 1 to the power of 1 by 2, then it becomes in the form of x to the power of n. Then we have formula for integral x to the power of n, right? So write that square root of x plus 1 like this. Then now use that formula here. So integral, sorry. Integration of x to the power of n formula. Here in place of x we have x plus 1. So x to the power of n formula is what? X to the power of n plus 1 by n plus 1. The limits are, what are the limits? 0 to 1. Then minus again integration of x to the power of n. X to the power of n plus 1 by n plus 1. Limits are 0 to 1. Okay. Now apply the limits. Now apply the limits here 1 by 1 by. So first let us take this in 1 by 2 plus 1, 3 by 2 by 3 by 2. Limits are 0 to 1. Here also same x to the power of 3 by 2 by 3 by 2. Limits are 0 to 1. Okay. Now write this 1 by 3 by 2. We can write as 2 by 3. So write that 2 by 3 outside. Then apply these limits. Upper limit is what? 1. Lower limit is 0. So first let us apply upper limit in place of x. So what is upper limit here? 1. So it becomes 1 plus 1. So 1 plus 1 to the power of 2 by 3 minus lower limit is what? 0 in place of x. So you get 0 plus 1 to the power of 3 by 3. First term is over and second term 1 by 3 by 2 is there. So we can write this minus 2 by 3 right outside. Then apply the limits. Upper limit is 1 in place of x. So 1 to the power of 3 by 2 minus 0 is lower limit. So 0 to the power of 3 by 2. Then simplify it. So 2 by 3 into 2 to the power of 2 by 3 minus 1 to the power of 2 by 3 or 3 by 2. Sorry, it is 3 by 2, not 2 by 3. This is 3 by 2. This is also 3 by 2. 2 to the power of 3 by 2 minus 1 to the power of 3 by 2. Okay, then minus 2 by 3 into 1 to the power of 3 by 3 is nothing but what? 1. Here also 1 to the power of 3 by 3 is nothing but what? 1. So 2 to the power of 3 by 2 minus 1 minus 2 by 3. Okay. Then simplify it and simplify it. That will be the solution for the given equation. That is given problem. Okay. Let us see one more problem. Evaluate integral minus 1 to 1 e to the power of 2x plus 3 into dx. Very simple problem. Integration of e to the power of 2x plus 3 first we have to solve. Right? Consider this total value as x. That is integration by so differentiation of chain rule method. So integration of e to the power of 2x plus 3. First take this total term as x. So integration of e power of x is e power of x only. That means we will get e to the power of 2x plus 3. Here we are doing integration. Here in place of x we have 2x plus 3. So we have to write exponent in the denominator. What is exponent? 2. So write that 2 in the denominator. Limits are minus 1 to 1. Okay. So this is integration of this function. Right. Now apply the limits. Write this 2 outside first. 1 by 2 of e to the power of 2x plus 3. The limits are minus 1 to 1 by 2 of. First apply upper limit. So what is upper limit? Is plus 1. In place of x. So 2 into 1 plus 3 minus lower limit. That is minus 1. So 2 into minus 1 plus 3. Then simplify it. Here 1 by 2 or here 2 into 1 is 2, 2 plus 3. So e to the power of 5 minus here minus 2 plus 3. That means 1. 3 to the power of 1 is so that is the integral of given function. E to the power of 5 minus e. Right? Let us see one more problem. Evaluate integral 0 to 5 by 2 cos square x into dx. Evaluate integral 0 to pi by 2 cos square x into dx. First, let us integrate this term. Integration of cos square x. Directly we cannot solve. So we have to write the formula of cos square x. What is the formula of cos square x? So write here 1 plus cos 2x by 2. Cos square x formula is not 1 plus cos 2x by 2, which we have already solved in unit 1. Again we are repeating the same problems. Okay. So write this to outside. So 1 by 2 integral 0 to pi by 2 1 into 1 plus cos 2x into dx. Now let us apply this integration for these two terms. First term is 1, so 1 into dx, plus second term integral 0 to pi by 2 cos 2x into dx. Okay, next here 1 by 2 of here integration of 1 into dx is x. Limits are 0 to pi by 2 plus integration of cos 2x is sin 2x by 2. X coefficient is 2. Then limits are 0 to pi by 2. Don't forget to write the limits. Okay. So 1 by 2 of. Now let us apply the limits. First upper limit, that is pi by 2 in place of x. So pi by 2 minus lower limit is 0. So pi by 2 minus 0 plus write this to outside, that is 1 by 2 of upper limit is what? Pi by 2 in place of x. So you will get sin 2 into in place of x we have to substitute pi by 2. So sin 2 into pi by 2 minus lower limit 0, that is sin 2 into 0. So we are writing this to outside, that is 1 by 2. Okay. Now 1 by 2 or here pi by 2 minus 0 is pi by 2 plus 1 by 2 or 2 into 2 cancel here. Then sin pi, sin 180. What is sin 180 value? 0. Then sin 0 is 0. Both values become 0. Okay. Now here 1 by 2 into pi by 2. Pi by 4. 1 by 2 into 0 is 0. So integral of given function is what? Pi by 2. Okay. Just we are integrating the function like unit 1 problems. Then we are applying the limits. That's it. Okay. Let's see one more problem. Evaluate integral 0 to 1 by under the 1 minus x square into dx. Now integral 0 to 1 by under the 1 minus x square into dx is given. First we have to integrate the function. What is the function? 1 by under the 1 minus x square. So what is the integration of 1 by under the 1 minus x square? Already it is a formula, standard formula of what? Sin inverse of x. Okay. So we can write it as sin inverse of x. The limits are 0 to. So integration of 1 by under the 1 minus x square is what? Sin inverse of x. That's the integral of this function. Then the limits are 0 to 1. Now let us apply the limits here. So sin inverse of upper limit is what? 1 minus lower limit is 0. So sin inverse of 1. Where we get 1 in sin terms? At 90. That is pi by 2. Where we get 0? At 0. So pi by 2 minus 0 is pi by 2. Right? So that is the integral value of the given function. Okay? Okay. So with this problem, let us end this session. In the next session, we will discuss some more problems based on this method. Okay? Thank you. Bye.